They say alone time is good for the soul, but too much can lead you down a dark path. Wolf Garden was written, directed, and stars Wayne David as William, a man that is absolutely coming apart at the seams. You're tearing me apart, Wolf Garden. Why are you yelling? He's in an isolated cottage somewhere in the woods in the UK. I don't know where. I'm not really sure it's important for the purpose of this movie, but yes, he's being torn apart because he's isolated. He can't leave the cottage. Even though he wanders around quite a bit, he is haunted by the memories of his girlfriend, Chantelle, played by Sian Altman. I hope I pronounced that right. Sian. If I mispronounced, I do apologize. She is gorgeous. Good God, she is gorgeous. Wayne David proves himself to be fine on camera and fine behind the camera. As far as the cinematography was well done, the camera work was pretty on point. Some good nighttime shots. And as far as subtlety, this movie really doesn't have that. This movie is very obvious as far as just where it's going from the very beginning. If you can't guess by the title Wolf Garden, no, it is not wolves doing a bunch of gardening. As hilarious as that would have been, that really would have been a horror movie. Unless, of course, you're a farmer that wants to keep them darn wolves out of your garden. They're tearing my crops apart. But yes, William, Wayne David, he keeps having memories of his girlfriend and is taking care of something in the deep woods, and also has to avoid people because he can't be seen because there's certain things going on. And from there we have a horror movie that really just tries to be more of a slow burn. And at times I think they forgot to turn the burner on. And look, I respect what Wayne David did, and it's not a bad movie, but it's also not, I think, nearly as meaty as it could have been. I think there could have been a little bit of tightening up as far as a story, as far as certain things going on. I don't really think this needed to be nearly 90 minutes. There are a few points that could have been cut. The conclusion is very obvious, but there are some positives to it. It does have some decent pacing at points. There's some good acting. Again, Wayne David is not bad on camera. Sian Altman is fine. And then there's The Visitor. Not to be confused with the movie The Visitor. I believe they came out in the early 80s. Grant Masters, who actually is fine in his role. Not Grant Masterson, if anybody gets that. I love you guys. And from there, it's fine. It's fine for what it is. Memories bop back and forth. William is just absolutely being torn asunder and absolutely just being ripped apart emotionally. And then things really go tits up later on, and then continue to go tits up until the obvious conclusion is, well, obvious. And that's really it for Wolf Garden. I'm going to spoil a lot of this here in a little bit because while I think that Wayne David has shown promise as a filmmaker, this wasn't a bad film, but it is not necessarily something that is going to light the world on fire. It shows potential at points, and then that's it. Since it's kind of a basic plot that is all right, it has to rely on the acting, and the acting's pretty decent overall. Nevertheless, that's really all I gotta say. It is on Tubi currently. If you want to check it out, Tubi's an ad-based streaming service. But you find a lot of stuff like this, and you can give it a shot, and maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you'll enjoy films like this. This is certainly well above a lot of independent horror movies that I've seen in the last few years alone. So there you go. Gonna get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. God, who's the werewolf? It's the girlfriend. It's the girlfriend. During an argument, they were attacked. Well, she was attacked. And then she shows up sometime later. And suddenly, he's wondering what the hell's going on. Because he's been going through all this shit, feeding this creature under the shed all this stuff, this, meat. Clearly, a wolf in the shed. I mean, I guess if they called it wolf shed, it probably would have been just too on the nose. Wolf Garden does sound a little bit nicer, kind of like a weird, strange poem from the Grimm's fairy tales. But he keeps being haunted by various people, ghosts, people that have been killed by the fact that he, even though he swore to protect his girlfriend, that didn't end up happening. They had an argument, and then she got attacked, and then he has also had visions where he's been either cutting himself because he's just so guilt-ridden. No, it's actually because he got bit also. Again, not a whole lot of shit to spoil in this. That pretty much takes us right to the end. A few scenes I do want to talk about. The exchanges between Chantelle and William, I mean, fine. They seem to be likable enough characters, if not a bit one-dimensional. You don't get to see what's inside the shed for a while, actually, and even then you get to just see that the shed was totally torn apart. He hears the howling that haunts him in his sleep, and his character John, they called him, because he's hiding them at the cottage. The reason is because after this attack, they went back into the city, and then things went tits up when she started attacking people. So people started going missing. There was one particular headline where, man wakes from a 5-year coma with memories of another life. And then his character John, basically, who we only hear on the phone, says, "You gotta not go around the grounds. They're looking for you. This kind of stuff's going on. I put you there in the cottage. All this is going on." Chantelle does show up and basically is not sure what's going on. And he says, "Well, you shouldn't be here. It's dangerous." The reason is because she's the goddamn werewolf. We know this. Obviously, we goddamn know this. And then things basically go completely tits up after he's talked to Grant Masters as the visitor a few times. William is responsible for all this stuff. He didn't protect his girlfriend. He didn't take care of her and take care of the problem. So now she is everybody else's problem, including his. The guild's eating at him. There were a few camera shots later in the film where I think they got a little bit weird. Like there's this point where the creature camera just kind of rushes, and it looked very, very... It was kind of weird. It was just a strange shot. But the werewolf ends up in the house. It escaped out the back, or out the roof. And, well, John calls and says, whatever that is, it's not Chantelle. It's not her anymore. I hid you guys there, but it's not her. And then Grant Masters basically says, hey, you need to take this gun with these bullets, silver bullets, and shoot her. And he does. And then we see another flashback where she was locked in the shed and she had attacked him, and that's why he had been cutting his wrist and why his wrist was wrapped up. And he is going to turn into a wolf. A wolf, that is. And he does at the end of the movie. And he didn't end his life when he should have. And now he is a wolf, and now it's all starting over again. Yeah, that's it. That's it for Wolf Garden. It's not bad. It's not great. I look forward to seeing what else Wayne David can do. And as far as the acting, it is what it is. It gets a just above positive recommendation of a C+. Again, it is what it is. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. But there's promise. And I hope that Wayne David can get more projects going forward. And see, on Altman, my God, she's gorgeous. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.